here. Just want to kind of give my last thoughts about the Raider game yesterday. Kind of just what I felt from that game, and just kind of having some time and to sleep on it a little bit over the night. And let's get into it. Let's talk about it, Bolt Bros. Let's go. All right, guys. So, man, bottom line, the way I view this game was we got completely outplayed. We basically, I felt, were very competitive in the first half, and we've had an issue of trying to keep that competitive nature up in the second half. And why I'm kind of saying that is because if you guys watched our live last night after our post game and everything, um, the game changed after that Austin Eckler fumble. I mean, bottom line, 100% changed the game at that point. Because immediately after that, what did they get? A touchdown off of that turnover. And then it was actually, what was it? One play to touchdown to Adams immediately after that. And then the seventh drive the Chargers had started looking good, missed the field goal. Cameron Dicker's first missed field goal. That basically gave them a pretty good position. I think it was on the 35-ish. I'm just kind of spitballing off the top of my head. Then it basically was two plays, flea flicker, touchdown. Pretty much changed the game at that point. The momentum shift was so massive at that point that it was just very hard to be able to come back and compete at that point. Now, shout out to Justin Herbert. He did what he needed to do. He finds ways to keep this game interesting. He finds ways to be able to give us a chance, and he is fighting for his life. Shout out to Justin Herbert on so many levels here. Guy is an absolute stud and deserves better to be having to deal with this kind of team at this moment. I mean, it's a tough thing to watch as a Chargers fan, and I've been a Chargers fan for decades. We've seen these type of games. We've seen these type of seasons. We've seen these type of heartbreaks. And it's interesting because a lot of people in comments of videos, they said, hey, man, it's been 50 years as a Chargers fan, nothing different. It's been the same old thing. There is this aspect of that I feel that we're snake bitten in some way or another. And we're getting a lot of injuries here that are really harming this team, regardless if you want to blame injuries or not. But injuries do play a factor. When you have a lot of players going out, and especially starters, it sounds like even Sebastian Joseph Day might even be out. It looked like he had a knee injury late in the game. So I hope that's not going to be the case. And I hope that we don't have another big blow like that to our team, and specifically to our D-line. I mean, it's incredible what's going on with that D-line and those injuries. But basically what I'm saying here is that we've had a whole heck of a lot of injuries. We got completely out hustled by the Raiders yesterday. I felt like we did pretty well in the first half to be able to find a way to keep this game interesting, keep this game in our hands, but we did find ways to charger ourselves out of a win. And that third quarter was tough. Going back on that third quarter, we have not scored a touchdown for 7 games now in the third quarter. That is losing football. We have scored 6 points in the last 7 games in the third quarter. That is losing football. Bottom line, there needs to be a change in that mentality of that third quarter. I mean, we are getting outplayed on so many levels at that point in the third quarter. We've given up 14 points in the last game versus the Raiders in that quarter. Not good. We need to find a way to come out of the gates once again in the third quarter. I think games are won or lost in the third quarter, in my opinion. We've been playing this game of, and we always talk about making this t-shirt, losing big and we barely win kind of thing. And that's kind of what our motto has been this year. We are a gritty team, but we're a team that is torn and tethered and beat up. And it is tough to watch. It's very hard for me to be able to think that we could also be a very positive, I guess for me to be able to have a very positive mindset of what's going on here, because we're seeing kind of the same issues with this team. A lot of blame still obviously has to go on to Joe Lombardi, just for the sheer fact of that third quarter aspect of it and not really finding a way to be able to um, really get this team started up again in the third quarter. I mean, we're losing so badly in that side. Um, Big thing too, we only scored one touchdown on offense against one of the worst defenses in the league. So that's not a good look. I'll give a shout out, and I hate even saying it. Raiders just out hustled us on all level. To be honest, Josh Jacobs looks like a completely different running back than I've ever seen him as. And I don't know what it is, but the guy literally has a completely different motor right now. His yards after first contact is insane right now. It kind of makes me think, man, he's got some PEDs going on there or something, because it's just doesn't seem like he's the same running back. I know he's trying to get a new contract. I know that's what he's playing for right now. But he is playing on a whole nother level, and he just grinded us down. It was one late drive. I think it was in the fourth quarter where basically they just grinded us down. And it was literally the Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams drive. That's all they focused on, and we got destroyed. On top of that, just to talk about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, to me, once again, with there's something knock a little bit on with Brandon Staley on this. He always one-on-one Devontae Adams. I felt like there was very little double team. It was almost just one-on-one. If my guy says he could do it, I'm going to let him just be one-on-one Devontae Adams. Sorry, man. Basically, we got destroyed by doing that type of strategy. I mean, that's bottom line. You can't do that to a player that is that good. That guy has the yards after catch ability. He has the ability to run crisp routes to be able to, get the separation he needs. And he burned us 100%. On top of that, Josh Jacobs absolutely burnt us. So bottom line, there is a strategy situation here. And it was actually that last drive that I was thinking about, which ended up just as a field goal, was a 14-play, 74-yard, 8-minute, 40-second long drive. That's a drive that's pretty hard to be able to make our defense, which is torn, tethered, beat up, injured, whatnot, and not having a whole heck of a lot of rotational pieces to be able to bring in the game to help out those guys that have been on the field for so long, to really find a way to recover and to be able to make plays and have the energy to be able to make plays when necessary. A lot of guys didn't really show up for us on defense. Khalil Mack didn't do too much for us. Derwin James, I don't even think I heard his name. They just basically played away from him, or they did a great job blocking him. Bottom line, we just got straight up beat, and that was not fun to watch at all. And we as Chargers fans, we don't like to see those type of games, especially against the Raiders. And we had a chance. We had an opportunity. We had an opportunity not only just to be able to put ourselves into the playoffs, at least in that race, or at least to be in the ability to punch a ticket to get in. We found a way to let it just go away. Now, positives of that, guys, is that the Jets did lose. The Patriots did lose. We're only a game back from this thing. We have two very, very difficult games in front of us now. Derwin James talked about it after the game. He said, from this point on, we have to win everything. And truly, yeah, we probably have to at this point. I mean, you might have the ability at a one-loss ability at this point that you could give up one game, but then that now puts it at a 9-8 kind of playoff position. Now you need to have the Jets lose one. Jets do play the Bills this weekend. I believe that the Patriots are going to be playing. Let's see here. Patriots are going to be playing this weekend. They are going to be playing the Cardinals on Monday night. We'll see, guys. I mean, the NFL's crazy. We still have 5 games. We have 5 games to look at. My biggest thing is this game was just an absolute mess on so many levels. And the Raiders had both sides of the ball going. Offensively, pass game. Offensively, running game. And defensively, they look like a totally different team, in my opinion. And they came with an extra fire, and the Raiders did put in a lot of players on their defense to keep their team pretty fresh all around. And, it's a tough thing to watch. Now, As a positives, I'm going to say Joey Bosa, we have got to get him back. I mean, the run defense is completely different with him, and we need to have him back. We need to have Mike Williams back. And that will be, and I would love it to be able to see it next week against the Dolphins to be able to see those guys back because it is going to be a tremendous difference here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Sebastian Joseph Day. Once again, if that's another guy we lose on the D line, I mean, it's tough for our middle of our pack. Our guys played extremely well in the first half defensively. I felt they were doing a great job of attacking the line, getting to Josh Jacobs, making Derek Carr go into a pass situation on second down with a second and long situation. I felt like they were doing a great job. We need to keep that up and keep that same mentality going into every single game from this point. We need to be able to go more into the fourth and Staley aspect of things too, and start just keeping our offense on the field. Now, if we have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen out there, and once again, Keenan Allen has actually been having some phenomenal long passes to him recently, and I have not seen that out of Keenan Allen in very, very long time. And it's great to be able to see that happening with him. But bottom line, we need to start playing the strategy of find a way to be able to keep our offense on the field, get better calling in the third quarter specifically. We need to be able to find a way to get that third quarter fixed. 7 games in a row now, guys, that we have not scored a touchdown. That is abysmal. As an NFL head coach, you need to be aware of that. You need to be able to make the adjustments. Somebody needs to take advantage of finding a way to make that happen. And if it has to be Brandon Staley that says, hey, look, this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to change in the third quarter, please do it. As we know, that Joe Lombardi has actually said on record that Justin Herbert changes a lot of the plays too. And so he tells them what to do and what he would like to be able to run. So what I'm saying here, guys, is that we have 5 games ahead. There needs to be some shifts or things will just go bad from this point and it will go south as this team. So once again, guys, just trying to be able to vent out what I have still the day after of the game. We got 5 games ahead. This Dolphins game is massive for us. This is a massive, massive game. I had these games, Dolphins and Titans, as losing games for us. And we need to find a way to win. If we could win both of these, we're right back in the thick of things, everybody. So either way, guys, appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share this video. I want to hear your guys' comments. Tell me a little bit of things that you guys thought about, your guys' last thoughts about this Raider game. Bottom line, guys, as always, family, trust, respect, FTR all day, every day, my boys. Let's go. Bolt Bros, we out.